Heart fans, what's up? Good to have you guys here. Butch Hartman, the big channel. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe. You know the subscribe. Just you know what to do. All right. So here's what's up. I worked at Nickelodeon for 20 years. You might think, Butch, it's a lot of stories. Like Jace.
Yeah, what's up?
That's a lot of stories, right?
It sure is a lot of stories.
20 years of stories. Right. I worked in Hollywood for 30 years. My God. How old are you, Jace?
I'm 20?
His whole life I've worked at Nickelodeon and in Hollywood, so I've got a lot of stories to share. Now, you know I've sold Fairly Odd Parents, did that as a show, Danny Phantom, TUFF Puppy, and Bunsen is a Beast. I love all four of those shows. I hope you like at least, I don't know, one of them. But there's some shows you try and come up with and sell to a network and they just don't actually make it to the finish line. And it happens to everybody. It happens all the time. But when it happens, it can be very crushing. And you have to be careful of how you let it affect you because you do not want to let the negativity get you down. And if you're not careful, it will. And here's a story about a show that I tried to sell. Back in 2000, I believe it was 2004, they came to me at Nickelodeon and said, we'd love you to create a creature comedy for us. A creature? What kind of a creature? They want a creature comedy, okay? Because SpongeBob, of course, was doing huge, and they wanted another creature type show that could appeal to everybody. So I'm thinking of all these different creatures. I'm thinking dragons, I'm thinking, monsters, which became Bunsen as a Beast eventually. And finally, I settled on the one creature I think is very underrepresented in not only animation, but the world at large, the platypus. It was the platypus, right? The lowly platypus. And I had a show that I created, and it was called SPLATYPUS. Show about a little platypus named Splat Flatfoot. That was his name. And I love that name. To this day, I love that name. Splat Flatfoot. Come on, don't you guys love that name? Just keep saying it. Splat Flatfoot. Splat Flatfoot. The original concept of Splattypus was he was a little platypus and he worked as a stuntman at a Hollywood studio. It was a show where he could get splatted all the time. Like, I'm doing stunt work, he would fall off horses, he would fall off buildings, he would, get run over by cars, that kind of thing. And it was just a great kind of old school slapstick Bugs Bunny type of show where he'd just get the crap beat out of him all the time, and I thought that'd be really funny, and I think audiences would have liked it as well. And the way I sold the show is a story in itself. This is a mini story. Okay, we've got the main story. Now we're at Jace, we're into a mini story now.
Oh, cool. Mini
story. Like look, big, we have big Superman.
All right.
And we have mini Superman. So here we go. When I go in to pitch the creature comedy, I'm sitting across from a Nickelodeon executive person who has the power to say, yes, let's make this show. If you've been in that situation, it's two things. It's exciting and it's also terrifying. You go in there, you have a good time, and just look at the experience as a great opportunity. So I said, there's a character and a creature that's been underrepresented in film. And I said, here it is. And they were sitting there staring at me. And I turned it around and they saw the drawing and started laughing. They just started, oh my God, that's hilarious. So I already had them with the drawing. And now we're back out of the mini story now. Mini story, away. The mini story is done. So the main story is they say, we want to make Splattypus. We think this is great. We want to fast track it. Fast track it? They even said to me, the words were, they're burned into my brain. They said, we want to fast track this and get it on the air by next year. That's what they said. And now I'm going, wow. I'm like, mic drop, that's a pen. Boom, did it. Okay, sold the show. Let's do this. So now we're developing the show, right? Now it's like, okay, now we're coming up with the world of Splat Flatfoot. What does it look like, The later years of Bugs Bunny cartoons would start with, you'd see a landscape, and you'd see Bugs Bunny's little tunnel, like he's tunneling in, and he would pop up, oh boy, Pismo Beach, and then deal with whatever situation he was in.
Well, here we are, Pismo Beach, and all the clams we can eat.
And I wanted Splattypus to be that type of a show, that every episode started off with Splat in a different situation, and him and his girlfriend, Mindy Mole. I have this little Mindy Mole cutout here from back in the day when I first pitched Splattypus. And I thought, hey, it'd be kind of cool to give him a girlfriend and she's a mole and she can't see. And they're kind of fun, right? And we had a great voice actress for this character and it was so much fun. And, remember the whole fast track thing I told you about? Have you ever had a fast pass at Disneyland? You ever had the fast pass and you're thinking, this is going to be great. I've got the fast pass. I don't need to win in any lines at all. And you're walking through the park and it's awesome. That's your fast pass. Later, losers, I've got a fast pass. And you get to the line and you bypass everybody. Then you get up in front of that line and there's a sign there that says, Fast Pass only good between 4:10 and 4:15, and it's like 4:20 and you can't use the Fast Pass. Wah, wah, wah. The fast track sometimes in TV development, it's kind of like the Fast Pass at Disneyland. It's like it's not as good as it's cracked up to be. So I'm thinking we'll have SPLATYPUS on in a year. We'll put a little clock here. A year went by, 2 years went by, 3 years went by. I thought for sure they were going to pick up the show, and I'm driving to work one day. My agent calls me. Yeah, Butch, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good, how you doing? And this is 3 years in now. Yeah, they're not going to pick up SPLATYPUS, but hey, and she goes on, I went, wait, whoa, what'd you say? Oh, yeah, they're not going to pick up SPLATYPUS. And I said, what are you talking about? Oh, they're just not going to pick it up. Anyway, and I said, no, stop. That's terrible. I said, I've worked on this show for 3 years. I mean, 3 years of my life has been spent, and a lot of my heart and soul have been poured into the development of this show. I don't know what it was about this show. I wanted to go so bad. It went for 3 years. I'm sitting there going, wow, this is crushing. And my agent goes, well, don't feel so bad. Just go get a manicure. I said, I've never had a manicure in my life. I said, manicure? I don't want a manicure. I want SPLATYPUS to be a series. Anyway, long story short, they never made SPLATYPUS into a series. They never made it. By the time we were done developing SPLATYPUS, so much money had been put into the development of it, because again, they were paying me to work on it. They were paying other people to work on it. They had made animation, all this stuff. There was a lot of money poured into SPLATYPUS. For me to even get the rights back would have cost me millions of dollars to get the rights back to it. So I had to let it go. I had to let SPLATYPUS completely go. But what I learned through this process was, what I confess, my confession, I learned that although you do get wrapped up personally in your projects, you can't let them dominate your life. And you can't let your personal feelings get so tied up in something that it ruins your day when something doesn't move forward. Yes, you can take it personally, a little bit. Like, yes, I mean, when I'm saying this, like, yes, of course it's personal. You've worked hard on it. But don't let it crush you. Don't let it ruin your life. And for gosh sakes, don't badmouth anybody as a result. And I didn't badmouth anybody. I didn't go around yelling and screaming and saying, do not put things on social media. Now, do I think they made the right decision in not picking up SPLATYPUS? Absolutely not. I don't. In fact, when I first made him, I colored him purple. I thought purple platypus. This is perfect. How could they not? And plus, his name was Splat, and Nickelodeon has the Splat. I'm like, you could call it Splatter Days. It was so genius. I don't understand. SPLATYPUS, I'm here to tell you right now, is an awesome show. And here's the good news. Here's the good news. As I speak to you now, I now have the rights back to SPLATYPUS. And you will be seeing it either here in my Butch Hartman YouTube channel or on my brand new network, O-Access. You'll be seeing it very soon. Somewhere. I don't know where yet, but we're going to be making it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the way I originally designed it and originally envisioned it, and you guys are going to be a part of it, and I can't wait for you to see it. So my confession at this point is this. I confess it's great to develop shows, and it's great to have a vision, and it's awesome to get the opportunity to pitch the show to a big network and to get that show made. But I also confess that if it doesn't go forward at that time, it might just be for another time. I think the time is now. So you guys keep at it. Hang in there. Do not get discouraged. Just because it doesn't go one place doesn't mean it can't go another place. Okay? If you've come up with a great idea and a great show, that's money in the bank. It's a great piece of sellable, marketable property that you have. Just put it aside, wait for the time, and come up with something new. And just keep coming up with stuff. That's the way to go. That's the way to achieve. Always have something new. Okay? There you go. Confessions of a Nicktoon Creator. What other things do you want to hear me confess? I have so many. Jace, I have so many things. I confess that Jace is right behind the camera. Anyway, okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, art gives you power. Use it wisely. Hey Heart fans, subscribe here to keep up with me, Danny, Timmy, Dudley, Bunsen, and the NOOG Network. My new app full of cartoons, shows, and games. Download it here. Click over here to watch my most recent video and here to start a playlist related to this video. Whoa, check out that awesome fan art. To be featured here, use hashtag HeartFanArt and tag me. I'm on every social media platform known to man. Cartoon Butch out. Pencil drop.